Hi, welcome to my blog. This project comes from something that I have been idealizing for many years, and also from the incentive of some people who knows me as a scientist, people who knows my career. Also, I've been observing that every time I post something related to science in my social media, I have a higher engagement. For me, this means that those people are interested in listening to what I have to say about science. I am Natani, scientist for more than 10 years, chemical engineer, PhD in physics, and currently postdoctoral researcher in Paris, France. And this is the Rost Science Posts. The first main objective of my blog is to communicate science to the overall community. I mean, to the society which has no contact with science. And I've been thinking about this for some years, and I observed that for me, my main objective as a scientist is not only to be a scientist, only to collect data, publish, and collect data again, and publish again. I want to be a useful scientist. I want to be a kind of communication between the academic researchers and the community. And why I think this is important? Because everything that we do inside the lab and all the data that we publish will somehow impact the community. This is how the medicines are done. This is how we develop new vaccines. So why those people who will be using these products doesn't know how they are made and how they work? So that is why I think it's important to talk about all these questions to them in easy language to understand. We don't need to talk in a technical language, but we need to give them the correct information. So this is my most important objective in creating this blog. And for me, this was even more highlighted during the COVID-19 pandemic, because some people came and asked some questions about science involved in everything related to the pandemic. And also, I've been thinking even more about this since I started to work in the current project that I am involved on, because we work with correction of science, and I have been observing some cases in which the community is impacted too much by the scientific publications. My second main objective in creating this blog is to give useful tips to researchers. What I mean is that during my career, I had the opportunity to use some tools that can be very useful. For example, in make some statistical analysis, formatting the references in texts. I don't know outside my country, I'm from Brazil, but at least in Brazil, we have such tools that can be used for improving, for example, the communications and our presentations. And some people, and many people doesn't know that these tools exist. So that is why I want to give this information. And for example, for formatting texts and editing references, this information can be useful not only for researchers, but also to overall students that needs to write a report, for example. Additionally, I want to have some contents regarding to correction of science, that is the subject of my current job, and how we can improve the scientific literature, how we can contribute to avoid flaws in scientific articles, how we can do that and why to do that. I also want to talk about international experience. I don't know abroad, but in Brazil it's not that common during some time of your research in an international lab. The people who knows me knows that I am living abroad for the third time. I studied in Portugal, in United States, and now I'm living in France. And all my international achievements were possible because of academic merit. And then I wanted to highlight to the people how the international collaboration are important, not only for our career, but also to improve science in general. Finally, I hope you enjoyed the content of my blog, and that I can somehow achieve my most important objective in creating this blog, that is communicate science to the overall community.